Now, in this lecture, we are going to implement an arithmetic program. So basically, a program that will accept two numbers and then proceed to calculate the add the two numbers up, multiply the numbers, subtract one number from another, and divide one number by the other, and then give us the result. So and then we will learn more about C programming. All right, so now next I'm going to do, I'm already launched my Sublime text editor here. So I'm going to create a new file. So I'm just going to save the file, save it as, then I'm going to navigate to the folder where I'm going to save this particular folder. So I'll just come here, see, on the lectures, that is where we have been given our program. So I'm going to save it as arithmeticprogram.c. okay, sorry. So I'll just come up here, and then I'm going to save it as arithmetic.c. So arithmetic program, arithmetic program.c. okay, so meaning that it is a C based program. All right, so I'm going to save it here. So perfect. So we have created our C file. Now as comment, put a comment, begin with a comment. So I'm going to write the name of the program, arithmetic program.c. all right, so now we can continue. So the first thing, as usual, what I'm going to do, I'm going to import my header files, and the normal header file that almost every program has. This header file is the standard input output header file. So I'm going to make a comment here that I'm going to import libraries. So libraries. So I'm going to import it using hash. So hash include stdio, stdio.h, stdio.h. all right, so then this is a program, this is a header file for input output. So for input and output, for input and output, right? So input and output. Okay, so we have imported our basic standard input output header file. So then next we define function main. So then I'm going to write what function main does. Function main begins program execution. So function main begins program execution. So program execution. Okay, so I'll just come here and then define my function main, int main, and then followed by a parenthesis, a void. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here, as we did in the previous program, we know that function main, this is the function main is a function, and then the return type, that function main will return a value that is of integer data type, and then we are telling it that we are passing it an empty parameter. So this is void, not an empty parameter. So we have already explained this in the first lecture. All right, so then open my two braces. Then every code that we write in this, within these two braces, that means it is part of the function main. All right, so the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to declare variables. Okay, so we are going to declare variables. All right, so I'm going to explain what variables are. So let me make a comment here. I'm going to say declare variables. So what a variable do? Variable is just a name for a storage location in a memory. All right, so it's just a memory location, a name for a storage location in the computer memory. And within these variables, we are going to store some values. Since we said our program is going to accept two numbers from the user and then perform those arithmetic operations upon the numbers, then we are going to declare two variables, two names for a storage location where we want to store those numbers when we accept the numbers from the user, so that whenever we need to call those numbers, reference those numbers, then we are going to reference those numbers by the means of these variable names. All right, so basically that is what a variable does. A variable is a name for a storage location in a computer memory. All right, so I'm going to write my first variable, the first one, and when we declare variable, we have to declare the data type of the variable. Since we are going to accept two numbers, though for number we have several type of data types. We may have the data type might be integer, it might be a floating point, and other data types. But in this program, we are going to accept an integer from the user. So let's assume that the user of this program is going to input 2 integers. So we are going to declare our variables as integers. So I'm going to say int, and then I'm going to write the name of the first variable. Let me write it as first number. All right. And when naming variables, it is very important that we make the variable name to be very much meaningful, so that anybody that is going through our code, upon seeing the variable name, he can be able to infer what those variables are doing. So anybody seeing this first number, we know that this is a variable that will store a number. And we even see a first number, so that means that there might be some other numbers that will follow. So first number is a very meaningful name with regard to this program that we are creating. Int second number. So now in the next line number 14, now I declare the second number, int second number. So we have now declared our variables, first number and second number. All right, so we have performed variables declaration. Now the next thing that we need to do usually after variable declaration, then we need to assign values to this variable. Since we say variable is a storage location in a computer memory, then that means definitely this variables will hold some values. So we are going to get values from the terminal. The user will ask the user of this program to input some numbers, and then when you input the numbers, then we are going to assign them to these variables. So we are going to prompt the user to enter the first number, and then we are going to accept the number. So let's retype now. Okay, so accept the numbers, input numbers from the terminal. So input the numbers from the terminal. So put the numbers from the terminal. So from the terminal. So from the terminal. All right, so I'm going to see printf. Making use of printf, we are going to prompt the user to enter numbers. So we are going to see enter the first number. Enter the first number. So enter the first number. Right, so here now the user will enter the first number. Now after the user of this program has entered the first number, then we need to be able to accept the number and then make it available to our program. So for that, we are going to make use of another function that is from this standard input output header file, and the name of that function is scanf. So we are going to say scanf, and then as usual my statement terminator, and then we are going to pass arguments to it as usual. As we said, whenever we invoke a function, then we need to pass argument to that function. So and then this what we are going to accept from the terminal, we are going to accept an integer. Since we have declared the first number as integer, that means we are going to accept integer. So we make use of what we call format string. Now this symbol with a percentage symbol, and then D denote a decimal integer. So this is a format control string. We call it format control string. Now we are telling the scanf that whatsoever the user of this program is going to input is going to be an integer. Now the next thing, now we make use of ampersand, and then followed by the variable name, first number. So basically, remember that we created a variable line number 13, first number as an integer, but here with this ampersand, we are basically what we are doing here, this is a pointer. So this is pointing to, we are going to see more about pointer, but basically this is a pointer pointing to the that particular location where this first number exists in the memory. So this ampersand and a first number is a pointer to that location, to that variable location we have named first number, so that our computer will now store that value in that location that has been named post number. So an ampersand is a pointer pointing to the location in the computer memory that has been named first number. All right, so now we're implementing this. So I'll just copy this and paste for the second number, since it is basically the same thing. So I'm just going to come in to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it here. So we have entered the second number. So I'm going to enter the second number here, second number, Then also I'm going to make use of a pointer here. Second number. All right, so second number here. So I'm going to also make use of an ampersand here. All right, so that basically line number 20 and 21 is very much similar to line number 17 and line number 18. All right, so now we have gotten the numbers. Now the next thing is to start performing the operations. All right, so also we have to declare. Now the first operation that we want to do, we want to add the two numbers, which is summation operation. So let me just come over here and then declare another variable and then call it sum. So int sum. All right, then since I have declared the variable, then I can now make use of the variable. So I'm going to say sum, and then I'm going to assign it with the result of performing addition operation of first number and second number. So I'm going to say sum equals to first number and then plus second number. All right, I'm going to make it a statement terminator to close the statement. So here, line number 24, this is what we call an expression. So this is an expression, and then we have a sum variable, and then this is an equal sign here. We call it mathematics, call it equal sign, but here we call it an assignment operation. So this is an assignment operator. So we are assigning the result of what is on the expression on the right hand side to what is on the left hand side. So this first number and second number, and then we have an addition operation here. So after performing the addition operation, the result is going to be eventually assigned to this variable sum. So we have sum equals to first number plus second number. All right, so now we are done with summation operation. Then we move to the next operation, which is a difference operation. So we have int, and then we have difference. So I just come down here as well, and then I have difference equals to first number, and then subtract by second number. All right, so second number. Okay, second number. So I'm also going to close it here. Let me save. Now the next operation is multiplication operation, or let me call it product. So int product. So product of the two numbers. So I'll just come down here as well, and then I'm going to write okay, product. Okay, correct. So we just proceed. Product equals to assignment operation, assign the result of first number multiplied by second number. All right, I'm going to close it here. All right, so the next operation is quotient, which is when we divide one number by the other, what we are going to get is quotient. So we call it quotient. So I'll just come over here, I write quotient, then I'll just go down there, and then here again, and they're going to have quotient is the result of what the first number, and then division is represented by a forward slash. So we have second number, and they also make use of a statement terminator to close this statement. So here I have line number 30. We have first number divided by the second number, and then the result is going to be assigned to variable quotient. All right. So we have successfully written this four mathematical expressions. Now the next thing, we are going to output the result to the terminal. All right. So now I'm going to make use of print statement as usual to now output the result of performing these operations. So I'm going to write printf, print format, and then we are going to have so the result of so the summation result, or let me call the summation result. The summation result result is, and then I'm going to have, now I'm going to make use of this format control string again, telling the so what is going to be basically what is going to be printed out here is the summation result is. Then when the computer comes here, is going to replace this format control string by the actual value. So here I'm going to put a comma, and then I'm going to put the actual value. Now the actual value is sum. Okay, and we have already declared sum as this as integer. That is why we are using decimal integer format control string to represent sum here. So sum is going, the actual value of sum is going to replace this particular format control character here, format control string. All right, so then we'll move next, and then next we have print format. Now the difference is, and then we also make use of format control string d, and then output the difference. So difference, and then make a statement terminator to close it. Next we print what? We print the okay, the product. So the product is and then all right, so I can just modify this, I think. Sorry, so I have this product is, and then also make use of percentage d and then product. So product. All right, so and then next print format, and then close this. So the quotient is quotient is, and then percentage d as usual also here, and put a comma, and then put a quotient. I'm going to put quotient. Okay, so just as we did with the other operations. All right, so after printing everything now, so that they will not the result will not all be on the same line, because if printf, after printing out a value, it doesn't move the cursor to the next line, so everything is going to be on the same line. So we want to take the cursor to the next line, so I can put a backward slash here, and then for the new line character, as we have seen that in the first program, in the previous program. So I'm going to put a new line character, also here a new line character, then also here as well a new line character, right? So also let me go to the other print statement, enter the first number. So after getting the first number, and then let's have a new line character before prompting the user to enter the second number. So enter the first number is going to get the first number, and then let's have a new line character before prompting the user to enter the second number as well. Okay, so here we are. Let's save it and then go back and run the program, and then if there is any error, then we can come back and fix the error. All right, so I'm going to minimize this, and then let me come here, and then let me navigate to the directory where we have this file. So cd desktop, okay, cd, sorry, desktop, and then c. All right, so and then see we have lectures. Clear the screen. So we have ls. Let's see the files that are contained here. So we have now the first thing we are going to make use of GCC compiler to compile it. So GCC, the name of the program that we are compiling is arithmetic program, and then we want to output it out as arithmetic program. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so perfect. So our program has successfully been compiled. It has been compiled into an executable. Now we can run it by adding dot forward slash, meaning this directory, and then this directory we want to run an executable, and that executable is arithmetic program. So let me run it. So enter the first number. Let's enter the first number as 10, and then enter the second number. Let's enter the second number as let's see, okay, let's see 6. And then let's see. So perfect. So we can see the summation result is 6. The summation result is 16, which is right. And then the difference is 4. The product is 60, and the quotient is 1. All right. So here we are. Okay. So but do the quotient, we didn't get the right result in the quotient because 10 divided by 6 is not 1. It's not actually an integer. So let's go back and make some little modification to this so that we can have an actual quotient, not because the decimal part has actually been truncated in this because it's supposed to be 1 point something, but it is been truncated here. So let's go and modify the program so that we can have an actual quotient, not an integer. So I'll come back to the Sublime Text Editor here. So I'm going to declare quotient as a floating point. So floating point is a number that have a decimal fraction, okay, with a decimal fraction. Okay, so now I'll come back here, also print the quotient is, instead of using decimal integer, I'm going to I'm going to specify to the program that this is a floating point number quotient. Okay, so also here I'm going to do away with this new line character here. I don't want it here. I just want it after enter the second number, so I want it here. So before here, let's have the new line character. All right, so okay, so let's go back to the and then recompile it, and then run the program and see. So I'm going to make use of the arrow key to access the commands that we have run. So I don't need to rewrite the commands again, since the shell has a history of the commands that I have run previously, and I can access them using the arrow keys on my keyboard. So I'm pressing the off arrow key now, and then I've been able to access this GCC command that I used to run the command to compile this particular program, and then I'm going to hit it. I'm going to enter it again. So I have recompiled the program again, and then I'll make use of the arrow key again to access the command that I used to run the executable. Now I'm going to hit enter. So enter the first number. Let's enter the first number as 10 as we did before. So enter the second number. I'm going to enter it as 6, and then perfect. So as you can see, we have the summation result is 16, the difference is 4, the product is 60, and then we also have the quotient is 1.000. So this is our program. All right. Also, this still we have not been able to get the actual quotient again, because we declare the two numbers as integers. So the result of dividing two integers by themselves is also integer. So I'm going to go back to modify the program again. So instead of declaring them as integer, okay, so maybe I will leave it as an exercise for you. So instead of declaring them as integer, declare the numbers as float, so that when you declare, you can declare one of the numbers as floating point, so that when you divide the two numbers together, one by the other, the result is going to be floating point here. Because basically what we're having in the result here, still the quotient is not accurate, because we are dividing one integer by another, right? So we are going to stop here, and then we are going to proceed in the next lecture.